Howdy! Welcome to the Whiskey Butler. I'm your host, Wesley Butler, here to serve you a little whiskey wisdom. I want to thank you for coming back and enjoying this Advent ride with me. We're on day 5 right now. We had a lot of fun last night on day 4 with the fire pit fun. But now, sorry, it's just me. It's just me today. Trying to get this episode in before all the football games start, which is why you see me dressed in this garb today. But before we get started, I thought we'd take a little recap into what we have consumed so far on this ride. So I have a nice little calendar here. So we started Wednesday with Old Forester on day 1. Day 2, we had Jack Daniels. Day 3, we had Henry McKenna. Day 4, we had the old series, Grandad, Old Tub, Old Overholt. And today, we're going to move on to, I thought what would be appropriate to move on to today would be this Jim Beam here. As you recall last night, we didn't really talk a lot about the whiskey. We were too busy having a good time, making some s'mores, talking holiday schmack. But we didn't really get to talk a lot about the whiskey. And you know I like to feed the mind and the palate here on the Whiskey Butler. So today, let's do a little bit more of feeding the mind. We mentioned last night that all of the olds that we were drinking came from the Jim Beam distillery. So I thought it only fitting today to talk about Jim Beam Bottled and Bond. And actually, you know, I found this one, again, dusty on a Hood liquor store shelf, just sitting there. And knowing that I have this love for Bottled and Bond whiskey, I decided, you know what? Maybe I'll pick that up. As a matter of fact, this is the same Hood liquor store that I found that Henry McKenna in that I mentioned earlier. Just sitting on the shelf. I want to say it was like 20 or $22 or something like that. So we're going to get into a little bit of the Jim Beam today. But I also wanted to make a connection between last night. I'm going to bring out one that we also had last night. Bring out the Old Tub here. And you might be saying, well, gosh, Wes, why are you breaking out the Old Tub with the Jim Beam? Well, there's a connection between these two that has nothing, that goes a little bit deeper than they're just made at the same distillery. The Old Tub brand used to be the preeminent brand of the Old Tub Distillery. And the Old Tub Distillery was the predecessor to the Jim Beam distillery. It was essentially, oh my gosh, David Beam owned the Old Tub distillery, passed it down to David B. Beam, okay, who was the father of James B. Beam, otherwise known as Jim, and the owner of the distillery today, right? So Old Tub. So Jim Beam has its roots in Old Tub, which used to only be sold in the gift shop at the Jim Beam distillery. It used to be sold in the gift shop, but when it was sold in the gift shop, it was chill filtered. But as you'll notice here on the label here for Old Tub, this is unfiltered. So certainly that gives it a different taste. But these have the same mash bill recipe, right? We're talking 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. The difference in the taste is really going to come down to how long it's been aged, where it's aged in the warehouse, all those little particular things, whether it's chill filtered or unfiltered, which I don't know about the Jim Beam bonded. I don't know if it's filtered or not. It doesn't say. If you look on the website, everything, it just says, oh, you're tasting a part of history, so on and so forth. So we're going to give the Jim Beam a try. We drank the Old Tub last night, so we'll set it over here to the side. We're going to give the Jim Beam a try, and this is actually my first time drinking this Jim Beam Bottled and Bond. Now, I will say, I will readily admit that on a normal basis, I am not a regular consumer of Jim Beam whiskey. It's just not. I've had it before. The white label and the black label, and it's just not in the flavor profile that I normally gravitate towards. There's plenty of people out there that drink Jim Beam. I'm just not one that drinks it on a regular basis. But being that this is Bottled and Bond and I like Bottled and Bond, decided it was worth giving it a try. So you get to watch me take my virgin sip of Jim Beam bottled and bond. All right, so we'll swirl that around in there, see what's going on. I hope everyone out there is having a good holiday season. Holiday parties, everyone's being safe and responsible and getting rides after you've had a little bit to consume and you can't drive yourself, unless you're having the party at your house, and then you can drink as much as you want to. Okay. I'm very happy because college football bowl season is in full effect, and so on the weekends, that's basically just what I do. I sit back with some whiskey and some other beverages of choice, and watch me some football games. So, I mean, today's the NFL day, so hoping my Bears can come through. It's been a less than stellar season, but that's okay. It's okay. Showing some promise. Showing some promise. It's very light on the nose, at least it is to me. You'll see the color. Well, I don't know if you can see the color on these two, but you'll see the color on these two. The Jim Beam is slightly darker than the old tub, which maybe means that it was aged a little bit longer, but certainly not going to be too terribly longer. How do I feel about that? You know, I was trying to set aside my preconceived notions about Jim Beam, because, you know, Jim Beam's got this legendary candy corn sort of taste to it, and I really, I can't even say that I kind of don't like candy corn. I don't like candy corn at all. I don't like candy corn at all. So that's why I was really nervous that this was going to taste very much like candy corn, but it doesn't. It does have a sweet taste to it, so I'm not going to lie. It does have a sweetness to it, which most bourbon does. I mean, you can't help it, right? It's 75% corn. Yeah, it's okay. It's not terrible. I probably would be okay using this as a mixer, just like I am with the old tub. And actually on the bottle, it says making it the perfect mixer in any classic American cocktail. So apparently the folks at Jim Beam want you to use it as a mixer as well. So don't feel too bad if you want to throw this in with some eggnog or some apple cider, or maybe if it's not the holiday time, maybe you want to throw it in with some ginger beer, make yourself a whiskey mule. Anything at 100 proof is certainly going to give you enough punch for your bite when it comes to making cocktails. So I wouldn't call this charcoal. I would actually call this a candy cane. So I'm going to give this based on the sweet flavor of it, I'm going to give it a sweet tart candy cane with this lovely blue raspberry. There's no blue raspberry in here, but just thought I'd play on the sweetness of Jim Beam and with the candy cane flavor. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Jim Beam, bottled and bond. Pick it up if you can find it. Certainly you can drink it neat. I mean, I'm drinking it neat here, which is like how I like to drink most of my whiskey. We got the old tub here. So I want to thank you for joining. Please come back for tomorrow's episode and all the future episodes like this one. Leave some comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. Make sure you click the bell when you do that so you're updated on all future episodes. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm there, active every so often. But I hope everyone continues to have a safe and happy holiday season, and we'll catch you next time on The Whiskey Butler. See ya.